Welcome to Wishwell Farms. This afternoon I'm just out here taking a little drive on the new property that we purchased this past winter. And in this video I intend on sharing with you all how I plan to farm this ground to make the payment during 2026 and 2027. Today's video is actually episode 3 of a 3-part series on our new land purchase. In the prior episode I asked subscribers for suggestions on what I could do with this land to make it pay. And after going through all the suggestions, thinking through them, talking it over with my wife, the decision we finally landed on probably isn't one most people expected. For those of you who may be new to my channel and are wondering what this land thing's all about, I want to give you a quick recap of the prior 2 videos. So back in December, my wife and I purchased 73 acres right here where I'm walking from family. And I own this parcel of land on halves with my father as an undivided interest. And episode 1 was all about the purchase of this land and some of the history of it. Episode 2, I actually sat down and went over a bunch of suggestions that subscribers gave me in the comments about what I should do on this land to help make the payment. What should I farm on it, or raise on it, or build on it? You know, there was probably 30 different suggestions that came in, and a few of them rose to the top. Things like growing pumpkins, raising an orchard, you pick strawberries, cattle. The list goes on and on and on. There was all kinds of amazing suggestions on what I could do to help make this land pay. Because as you know, land these days is not cheap. So I really enjoyed hearing from all of my subscribers, some of which are farmers, on what I should do with this land. And my wife and I really enjoyed lots of good discussion throughout the winter and early spring here on all the different options available to us on this 73 acres. Now, the decision for what to do with it in 2026 was an easy decision because of when we purchased this land. My wife and I bought it in December of 2025. And my dad's been raising corn, beans, hay, and wheat on this ground my entire life. And a farmer purchases their inputs typically in September and October for the next year. So in 2025, he had already made decisions on what he was going to be doing with this land months before I bought it. So 2026 was kind of already locked in to how this ground was going to be farmed. However, the door is wide open for how I could farm it during 2027. And I've narrowed it down to 2 options. Option 1 is to continue cash renting it to my father to farm it how he's farmed it for the last 50 years, however long it's been. And I can take that cash rent to pay for half of the land payment, and the other half will be subsidized by the vegetable operation. Option number 2 is to farm it on halves with my father. I know there are a million different things I could do out here on this ground. But at this point in my career, I'm not willing to take on expanding my operation over into this ground because there's no infrastructure, there's no barns, there's no wells. It's too far from a home farm where the employees meet for working every morning. There's just a whole bunch of reasons why moving some of my vegetable ground over here does not make sense. So continuing to grain farm it during 2027 is what's going to happen. The only problem with farming it on halves, it might sound easy, but it actually is a little more difficult for me because I'm not really a part of the grain operation. My vegetable farm is a separate entity, and I don't own the large equipment like tractors, planters, combines for harvesting, grain bins for storage, and then semis to haul it. You know, I don't own any of these things. So I would have to pay my dad or my brother, who does a lot of the planting and harvesting, a custom fee for planting my crop, harvesting my crop, storing my crop, and trucking my crop. And then on top of that, I'd have to, buy all my inputs, seed, chemicals, fertilizer in the fall of this year for 2027. Yes, of course, it is possible to make this all work. And, I just have to have some more conversations with my dad and my brother to see if that's what we want to do for 2027. So as of right now, I'm probably leaning more towards just cash renting it and continuing to vegetable farm like I have been for, the past 25 years. I'm going to keep that door open and we'll have some more conversations on the channel about it. And, obviously I'm going to have to talk with my dad and my brother more about this, and we'll come up with a good plan and we will do what's best for them and for my farming operation. So many of you have heard me talk about this train that runs along this property. Here it comes right now. So you probably could hear the train horn. It just went by this little county road over here. Now it's making its way along this tree line over here. And it's pretty loud. I don't know if the mic's picking it up well, but I can sure hear it. And it's going to be going past this woods over here to another little village, and it will be sounding off its horn again. I've actually had quite a few conversations with my wife in the past few months about the possibility of someday building a little retirement home over here on our property. But the train is one big drawback to that. And we do own, I think, 3 acres of woods back here. This woods is probably about 25 acres. There, hear the horn again? Maybe it doesn't sound that bad on camera. We have a train go by every 15 minutes all day long, 24/7. It probably wouldn't be any worse than what I'm experiencing now where I live. I know I live a quarter mile from the train, but this would even be closer. So speaking of the woods, let's drive over right now and I'll show you our 3-acre section of woods that we own that is part of that bigger woods. It's probably 20 or 25 acres. And then also over here by this little grain bin, there's a little maybe 2 or 3 acre parcel of woods that's non-tillable with a creek going through it. Let's go check that out too. The train just went by. I was trying to get over here before it ended so we could see how loud it was. So my dad and I own a little corner of woods here. There's a tree stand right there. We let some friends hunt in here. And I'm not sure if this one's on our property or across the fence. Let's go check it out. So this little 2-track trail is kind of the boundary line. There's a fence, an old fence that used to be right here. It goes all the way through the woods. So that's on their property. So there's the railroad tracks right there, about 50 yards away. And we have a little corner of woods right here, and it goes all the way across. So this is kind of the property line I'm walking on right here. So you can see the Ranger through the trees there, 50 yards away. So there's not a lot of woods here. And down there, that direction, it's really wet and swampy all the time. So the only good place to build up here in the woods would be in this area here. And it's actually beautiful. The only problem is the railroad tracks is right there, 50 yards away. So in my mind, that's a no-go. It's almost mushroom season up here in Ohio. They're already finding them down in southern Ohio. We're probably a week or 2 away from having them up in our area. All right, let's go check out the other little section of woods that has a creek in it. This is a pretty little creek that runs through this little piece of woods. This little clearing right here would actually be a perfect place to build a little tiny home. And there actually used to be a house right up in there. We tore it down about 45 years ago. An old farmhouse. Yeah, I think if I was ever going to build over here, this area might be the spot. This is really pretty. There are 2 walnut trees right here. So I definitely want to build around those. I would not want to cut down those 2 beautiful walnut trees. But yeah, this area is really pretty. I know the decision that we made on what to do with this ground over the next 2 years is probably not the decision most of you expected to hear or maybe wanted to hear, but it's the right decision for me at this point in my career. I want to stay focused on my current vegetable operation, where it's at right now, but I am going to keep the door open for possibly doing something different here in the future. If you are interested in checking out part 1 or 2 of this new land purchase series, and maybe have missed them, I will link them down below in the description, and I'll put part 1 right up here if you want to check it out. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it, and don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you all again next time down on the farm.